Welcome to Gyeongju, where every step tells a 1,000-year-old story. We came looking for Korea's past and found ourselves time traveling without a machine. Once the capital of the ancient Silla Kingdom, we saw green tombs rise like gentle hills and stone pagodas peek out from quiet parks. History isn't tucked away in museums here. Gyeongju is the museum. In fact, it's called the Museum Without Walls. We're John and Bev, and we are the Retirement Travelers. If you're just finding us, we are an American senior travel couple who are on the adventure of our lives. We're traveling China, Japan, and South Korea on this leg, so hit subscribe and follow along on our little travel log. We are a few weeks ahead of our videos, so if you're wondering where we are in the world, we keep our Instagram updated to our current location, so follow us there.
If you saw our travelogue last week, you know it was my birthday and we ate wiggly desserts and rode roller coasters. It was exactly the fun we needed. We left Daegu with dizzying memories, a camera full of selfies, and obviously no idea how we were getting to Gyeongju.
So we are checking out of Daegu. We're getting a taxi or Uber?
Uber to the bus station and then a 50-minute bus ride. We don't have the tickets yet, so hopefully it won't be a problem buying them there. Beautiful day, so it's travel day. Let's have some fun.
We thought we'd be taking the bus. That was the plan. What is it that they say about the best laid plans? But our driver dropped us off at the train station instead, waved us goodbye, and drove off into the mist. Okay, well, not really the mist, but it sounds more dramatic.
So the next step is to figure out how to buy bus tickets to Gyeongju and where the actual bus station is.
I have faith in you, babe.
Yeah, so
you'll find it.
경주행 버스 티켓은 어디서 살 수 있나요?
Where do we buy bus tickets to Gyeongju?
Can you not memorize that before we get in?
No. What really happened to us was a complete misunderstanding on our part. We entered the train station and not the nearby bus terminal. We assumed that they were in close proximity. We asked many people for help. Since we were asking for help in the train station, everyone assumed we wanted to take the train. Obviously, our translation was wrong, and every single person we asked nodded confidently and directed us toward the train ticket machine.
And then came one of those moments that make you believe the universe is nudging you in the right direction. After feeling completely defeated, we gave up on the bus, and a young woman saw us looking bewildered and took us to the ticket machines to help. When we say help, we don't mean pointing vaguely in a direction. No. She used her own credit card because the machine only accepted Korean-issued ones. Bought our tickets, let us repay her in cash, and then walked us all the way to the train platform. So if you're keeping score, South Korean hospitality 1,000. American, figure it out yourself culture, 0.
I see people like that, and my heart is full of gratefulness and happiness. And I can't even imagine my life without travel. It almost makes me want to cry. I love it so much. And it's moments like that that just make me grateful, heartfelt gratefulness.
We have a professional bottle flipper on our hands here. The train zipped through the countryside, ducking into tunnels and reappearing between green rice paddies and mountain silhouettes. It was a blink and you're there kind of journey, only 17 minutes. If you follow our journey, you know that we sometimes book short stays in places that others take as a day trip. Gyeongju is one of those places. Seriously, why rush through a place like Gyeongju, spending the day, when you could linger for a few and soak in the ancient charm?
We arrived too early for check-in in our not-so-great hotel, which we aren't shouting out because we didn't love it. Now, after storing our bags, naturally, we did what any rational traveler would do: search for Korean barbecue. We walked a few blocks and found a tiny restaurant that looked like it had personality oozing out of the woodwork. There were no other customers. It was that awkward hour between lunch and dinner. But the smiling owners welcomed us anyway.
With the help of our Google Translator and the restaurant staff, we ended up with a feast. 3 cuts of meat sizzling on the grill, surrounded by banchan. Yes, those glorious little side dishes that feel like edible confetti.
Before we left, the owner snapped a Polaroid of us and added it to their wall of happy diners. Their Instagram handle is woohaha segomeat, which also happens to be the sound our bellies made as we waddled out.
So the whole meal with drinks and everything was about $45. That was a bargain.
And they were so nice and kind and helpful.
That was delicious.
We got to do that some more. We may go back.
No, we need to go home and take a nap. I am stuffed. After a nap that can only be described as meat-induced, we took a gentle evening stroll to scope out the layout of Gyeongju, and that's when we started falling in love. We've got ancient burial mounds, we've got night markets, we've got Instagram Street, a little bit of everything here in Korea.
The next morning, we set off early on foot. Our first stop, the Gyeongju National Museum. The building itself is elegant and understated, but don't let that fool you. Inside is a time machine. We wandered through exhibits showcasing golden crowns, pottery, weaponry, and a giant bell so enormous it would make Quasimodo blush. Lucky for us, we arrived just as they played a digital audio representation of what it would sound like if the log actually struck it.
There you go.
That was incredible.
We heard it.
Very beautiful sound.
Very nice.
But they ring it 3 times before.
From there, we wandered along a tree-lined path toward the next site and paused to watch about 30 women working in a field. They each had a little seat strapped to their waist as they squatted close to the ground, pulling weeds and leaving a plant that we couldn't quite identify. Were those radishes? Turnips? Mysterious root vegetables from the Silla period? If you know, tell us in the comments. We're dying to know.
Our feet led us to Donggung Palace and Woji Pond. These grounds felt like the set of a very peaceful historical drama. Ponds full of koi and lily pads, pine trees casting dappled shadows, and pagodas that seemed to whisper secrets of the past. We looped the trail slowly, soaking in the stillness, the scent of pine, and the timeless vibe. It was the kind of place that makes you walk slower without even realizing it. We then began walking through the historic district along a trail running along the ridge of a hill. The elevated path gave us sweeping views of the city.
We're here at a stone ice storehouse, and how they use these is they cut big blocks of ice out of the river and they would store them in here, and they could use them all the way up into spring and summer. But the bad news is only the royalty got to use the ice.
We wouldn't survive very long under this dynasty.
No. Next up was the Wojeongjo Bridge, a beautifully reconstructed wooden bridge painted with dragons and decorated in bold reds and greens. At 387 feet, it's the longest wooden bridge in Korea and possibly the most photogenic. We crossed it again, then posed dramatically at each end. There were only a few others. This place is Instagram heaven.
This is a beautiful bridge.
I love it. This is awesome. What amazing, intricate work through the whole thing.
If we were in Japan, this place would be so crowded with tourists that you would not be able to enjoy it.
Yes, one thing so far we've seen in South Korea, it has not been overcrowded. I think the big palace there in Seoul had quite a few people, but mostly Korean, from what I could tell.
And this is just like, why wouldn't you not come to Korea when you can enjoy traveling without crowds and people who are just curious? They're walking in, they're just kind of curious like we are.
That's right. Gyeongju is a beautiful city. It's very nice.
It's part of a tour that you need to make.
Yes.
It's not just one place you come to South Korea. You need to combine it with all of these other places to make a real journey.
We're probably missing a lot of great places in South Korea, but
on
this trip, you know, our journey down through the country at Seoul and Daegu and Gyeongju and Busan and Jeju Island, it's a good start. It's a good start.
We continued our historical wandering through Jerem Forest and noticed kids flying kites, couples were picnicking, and one man showed off his wooden spool technique like a pro. He even let John give it a go.
We look around the park and everyone else is an amateur, but not this dude.
No. This is not his first kite rodeo, I'll tell you that.
Korea continues to surprise us.
Continues to surprise
And
us.
how nice was that, just to hand it to you
Yeah.
and let you try.
But
you could have crashed his kite.
This culture, what I've seen all over the country, has been like this helpful, joyful, fun-loving people.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and here's the observatory.
Wow.
This is the oldest observatory in Asia, and it was built like 1,500 years ago.
It's the Cheomseongdae Observatory, built during the reign of Queen Sindok in the 7th century. Now, one of the first things you notice when you roll into town are the enormous grassy mounds that rise out of the landscape like hobbit homes for giants. We learned that they're actually the royal tombs of the Silla kings. There are over 200 of these throughout the city.
The next day, we set our sights and our sneakers on the hills outside the city to visit the Bulguksa Temple, considered a masterpiece of Buddhist art and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This sprawling temple complex was originally built in 528 AD and has been lovingly rebuilt and maintained ever since. We climbed stone staircases, wandered through colorful wooden gates, and paused to rub a smooth brass pig statue that locals say brings good luck.
It's a sweet little thing.
Yes.
It's so cute. Except it's got tusks. Okay, well, we should have enough luck now.
With luck on our side, we arrived at the Daegu station, made our way to the airport, and boarded a flight to Jeju Island, a volcanic beauty nicknamed the Hawaii of South Korea. Now it's time for palm trees and seaside cliffs. Let our retirement journey continue. We'll see you next week.
Be sure to hit subscribe and follow along on our retirement journey around the world.